Do you really know the truth behind Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman's love story, the one that seemed perfect, magical, and unbreakable? For years, they were Hollywood's golden couple, smiling for the cameras, holding hands on red carpets, and finishing each other's sentences. But at 57, Keith Urban has finally revealed a truth that left fans shocked, a truth about love, pain, and what really happened after the divorce. From the outside, their love story looked like a fairy tale. Keith Urban, the charming country superstar with a heart of gold. Nicole Kidman, the elegant, Oscar-winning actress who had already endured heartbreak with Tom Cruise. When they met in 2005, it was like destiny had finally decided to give them both a second chance. They fell fast, they fell hard, and the world couldn't get enough of them. Their wedding in 2006 was straight out of a dream: candles, church bells, tears of joy. Keith even called Nicole his savior, saying she was the reason he became the man he always wanted to be. But what no one knew was that behind the glamour, Keith was already fighting demons that love alone couldn't heal. Just months after their marriage, he checked himself into rehab, again. It wasn't the first time he had struggled with addiction, but this time, it threatened to destroy everything he'd built. Nicole, instead of walking away, stood by him, visiting him in treatment, holding his hand through the darkest nights. The world saw a picture of strength and devotion, but behind closed doors, cracks were already forming. Keith once said in an interview, "I wasn't a husband she could depend on. I was lost, and she deserved better." It was the truth he hid for years, that while Nicole was trying to love him back to life, he was slowly slipping further away. For years, they tried to make it work. They smiled through the pain, raised two beautiful daughters, and pretended the distance between them wasn't growing. But it was. Nicole's Hollywood world and Keith's Nashville life became two separate realities. And while they both loved each other deeply, love isn't always enough to heal what's been broken too many times. According to close sources, the couple's relationship began to crumble quietly, long before the public ever noticed. Long nights apart, conflicting schedules, and unresolved pain from the past turned their fairy tale into something neither of them could fix. And now, at 57, Keith Urban finally opened up in an interview that shocked fans around the world. His voice trembled as he said, "I'll always love her. That's something that doesn't just go away. But sometimes, love means letting go before it destroys you both." Those words revealed more than any rumor or headline ever could. He didn't speak with anger. There was no blame, no bitterness, just heartbreak. Because despite everything, Nicole wasn't just his wife. She was his anchor, his light, and the one person who truly saw him for who he was beneath the fame. He admitted that their love wasn't fake, it was real, raw, and once in a lifetime. But he also confessed that fame can be a curse in disguise. The pressure, the distance, the endless public scrutiny, it became too heavy to carry. "People think love in the spotlight is glamorous," Keith said softly. "But it's not. It's fragile. And if you're not careful, it breaks you before you even notice it's breaking." After the divorce, Keith reportedly went through some of the hardest years of his life. The stage that once gave him joy began to feel empty. Every song reminded him of her, every lyric, every melody. Fans noticed the shift in his music, darker, more emotional, filled with regret. Nicole, too, moved on quietly, pouring herself into work, motherhood, and faith. But those close to her said she never spoke badly of Keith, not once. Because deep down, both knew their love wasn't a failure. It was just a chapter that ended too soon. Today, when asked about Nicole, Keith simply says, "She'll always be a part of me." And that's the truth that breaks hearts, that even after everything, he still carries her in his songs, in his soul, in the quiet moments when no one's watching. At 57, Keith Urban's confession isn't about blame or betrayal, it's about closure. It's about a man who loved deeply, lost painfully, and finally found peace in honesty. Because sometimes, the greatest tragedy isn't that love ends, it's that even after it's gone, it never really leaves you. And for Keith Urban, no matter how many songs he sings, one melody will always belong to Nicole Kidman.